guys, it's me Jazz, and today I'm going to be doing just kind of like a sit down chit chatty video, but I'm so excited because today's topic and tomorrow's topic, I'm going to split this video into two parts so that it's not too long. And the topic that I'm going to be talking about is something that's very dear to my heart. It is something that I have been learning more and more about, I've been reading a lot more about, and just really diving deep into, and it's just such a fascinating topic to me, so I wanted to share it on my channel, of course, and that is the zodiac. I've always been into astrology, but more so just kind of into my sign, you know, as self-centered as that sounds, just kind of been more into my sign, which is a Sag. I think a lot of you guys know that if you follow me because I say it a lot or refer to it a lot. So I'm going to put timestamps down below so that you can jump to your sign. But I think that it's really interesting and fascinating to learn about all of the signs so that you can learn how to kind of relate and better yourself and your relationships with everyone around you. But I do want to do a quick disclaimer and say that I'm going to be talking about sun signs today, all about your sun sign, which is the sign that most people are familiar with. I'm just going to touch on this real quick because some people think that, oh, if you're born under these 12 signs, these 12 sun signs, then you act exactly like this, you act exactly like that. But here's the thing, here's how I like to look at it. The 12 sun signs is the sign that governs your personality. And these are the personality traits that you were born with, that naturally come to you. But in astrology, your sun sign is not the end all be all. There's so much more to it, and I want to do a video also on, I'm sorry, this is kind of a long intro, but I want to do a video on moon signs and rising signs and also cusps and all different other things that also go into making you and making you unique. Moon signs is a video that I really want to do because it is almost just as important as your sun sign. A lot of astrologers say it governs your emotions and how you act when you are emotional, or how you emotionally respond to things, which for some people that are emotional, that takes up a big part of their personality. If you're an emotional person, then you may act more like your moon sign than you do your sun sign, if that makes sense. So I'm definitely doing a video on moon signs because it's so important, but I also want to do a video on rising signs also. So yeah, be on the lookout for those, and also be on the lookout for part 2 of this video, which will come out tomorrow. But for this video, I'm going to be talking about the first 6 sun signs in the zodiac. The first sign in the zodiac is Aries, and Aries is a masculine fire sign that is known as the sign of self. So they are all about self. A lot of people call Aries selfish. They are a very me first sign. They look out for themselves first, others later. And so a lot of people do consider them to be selfish. I just think that it is what it is. I mean, a lot of people do look out for themselves, but they take pride in self. They're also leaders. They are not followers. Aries lead people, and they are 100% independent. And Aries is a very assertive, sometimes bossy, but assertive. They're very active also. Like, they are a doer. They don't just sit around and think about, no, like, they do. They go after it, they take action. If it's something that they want to do, they're just going to do it. And because they're so independent, they don't need someone to do things with them. They don't need to do things in a group of people. They may invite you to do things, but whether you go or not, they're still going to do it. Like, they're either the leader of a pack or a loner. Like, they don't need to be, they'd rather be alone than have to follow someone else or go with someone else's flow. They like to direct the flow and have things go their way. Now, not only are they self-oriented, but they're also very self-confident. They're very, very self-confident people. It's inspiring how gung-ho they are with things. They don't care what other people think. They just go after it. Like, they don't care. They get really, really annoyed and irritated when things or people get in their way, and that's when their feisty side can come out. Aries are known to be hot-tempered, sometimes childish, depending on how mature the Aries is. They are really hot-tempered because they don't like being told no. They don't like being told what to do. They don't like being led down any type of direction that's not theirs. They don't like routines. They don't like to be bored. So if any of those things happen, they don't like it, and they're vocal about it, and they're going to try to remove themselves from the situation and go a different way. And if they feel like they're in a situation where they can't do that, they get really irritated and they don't know how to hide it. Aries are also known to be kind of reckless, especially with money. They're not really good with money, so they say. So yeah, like I touched on it a second ago, they have zero tolerance for boredom. They do not like to be criticized at all. An Aries will rarely ask for your opinion because, like I said, they don't care. And because they're not asking for your opinion, don't give it to them. Like if they're not asking, don't give it to them. Even if it's constructive criticism, do not give it to an Aries. They don't like that. Like, they didn't ask, so why are you giving me constructive criticism? I relate to this. That's actually a Sagittarius trait also. And Aries and Sagittarius, just a quick. So, okay, I'm going to be referring things to myself throughout this video and the next one, okay? Because I just have to, okay? It's my video, whatever. So, Sagittarius and Aries are actually the perfect love match. We have so many things in common. They also have zero patience. Another thing I can relate to. They have no patience at all. They don't even know what that word means. Like, they want it now. And the thing with them is, if they can't have something now, they're very instant gratification type people. If they can't have something now, or if they go after a new venture and they don't see results now, then they'll just stop going after it. And then they'll try to do something else. And they don't have a really strong-willed follow-through or waited out period. They don't have that, so that can be their downfall. And because they are combative in nature, they will go bat to bat with you if you try them. So their combativeness and their self-centeredness can make them a spoiled brat. So that's another thing that's a really undesirable trait that Aries have. They can suppress that, but at some point in their life, an Aries was probably a spoiled brat. But nonetheless, people love Aries because they're energetic. They love how strong-willed they are. They will go after anything. They're very, very, very courageous people. They're also very honest people. Like, you go to an Aries, if all of your friends are telling you that dress looks good on you, but you feel like you look fat, go ask your Aries friend if you look fat and they will tell you, okay? So they're very honest. They're very, very honest. At the end of the day, people are afraid to cross an Aries because that hot temper, that cutthroat tongue, no one wants to go toe-to-toe with the Aries. They just don't. Next up is Taurus. Now, Taurus is a feminine earth sign. They are also known as the sign of personal possessions. I'll touch into the personal possessions things in a minute, but their general traits are usually they're really quiet at first until you get to know them, but they're usually really quiet at first, reserved almost. Some people think they might be secretive, but they just kind of sit back and like assess the scene. But when you get to know them, Tauruses are surprisingly very affectionate and very gentle people. Tauruses are also very, very patient. They have endless amounts of patience. I can't relate, but it's amazing that Tauruses have such patience. They are very, very stable people, and if they're not stable, if they have not made it to that stable point in their life, they're doing everything in their power to get stable, because at the end of the day, that is what they long for. They long for a stable, healthy foundation full of things that they love and cherish. That is a Taurus's dream. So they're very, very determined to make that happen. They're also very practical. They assess things in a practical way. They are realists. They're also very dependable for people that they love. They're also known to be very humble people. So even though they are the sign of personal possessions, they are humble about it. They feel like they've worked for it, and so they have no problem with self-indulgence and pampering themselves and collecting nice, beautiful things that they worked hard for. But at the end of the day, they're very humble about it. Tauruses are also known for, this goes with the self-indulgence thing, to kind of be foodies. They really appreciate good food. They love food. That is a stereotype of them, but that has to do with their self-indulgence. They feel like after a long day of work, what is better than a nice expensive glass of wine that they saved up 3 months for, along with a nice dinner that they ordered or cooked or whatever. So yeah, they take pride in stuff like that. They love to pamper themselves also. Like, they love spa days. They love like chill stuff like that. That just is all about relaxing and making yourself feel good. And because they're so stable and they long to be stable and they long for permanence. That goes with career, that goes with lover. Like, they believe in being with one person for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? They believe in being married one time and having a life partner. They believe in having a job, a career that they worked hard in for 40 years. You know, they believe in that type of permanence and that type of stability. So because of that, they're very, very resistant to change. That is when you will see the bad side of a Taurus, the irritable side of a Taurus that isn't really happy. It's someone that is not stable and has to change their situation or scenery too much. They don't like that. So they're very resistant to change. They can become really stubborn when it comes to change. At the end of the day, they do have a temper. Everyone knows that a Taurus has a temper, but they rarely show it. So like an adult Taurus's home is usually filled with possessions and things that they love. Tauruses can also become hoarders very easily. It's hard to let go of things for them as well. But they collect things also, things that mean things to them. So yeah, a Taurus is generally happiest at home with a loving family, around good company, good food, and a stable foundation. That's just what they love. Next is Gemini. Geminis have a special place in my heart, personally. So Gemini is a masculine air sign, and they are the sign of self-expression. Now, Geminis are, if you can't tell, I'm smiling. I love Geminis. Geminis are my favorite sign besides my own sign, but Geminis are my second favorite sign. I love Geminis. Geminis are so misunderstood though, which is like, it is what it is. I think they understand that they're misunderstood. Geminis are very lively, very energetic people. When they walk in the room, it's just like this good energy. Like, you feel the energy of a Gemini. They're very amusing, they're very witty, they're very intelligent. Even if you don't think they are, trust me, they are. So very versatile and adaptable. They can kind of be in different situations and like adapt and blend in. They are the sign of self-expression, but they are also really good communicators. They are ruled by the communication planet Mercury. So most Geminis have really good communication skills. They're also very clever and very keen on new ideas. They come up with new ideas like this. Their ideas, they're like the definition of brainstorming, because that's what they do. They focus on their mind, and they focus on expanding their mind. They come up with new ideas very easily. So a lot of Geminis are really drawn to the arts and the creative side of things, because they are extremely creative people, and because they are the sign of self-expression and communication, that makes them amazing artists, writers, musicians, all the things that have to do with creative self-expression. They thrive in those fields. So Gemini is very lively and energetic, like I said, and they love to be the star. They love to be the star. They have no issue with the spotlight being on them. The thing, and that's really similar to a Leo, but the difference between a Gemini and a Leo in that sense is that a Leo wants to just be the star, and that's it. A Gemini wants to be the star, the stylist, the producer, and the director. They want to be it all, and they're willing to learn about all of these different hats, and they're willing to wear all these different hats. Also, Geminis are the twin sign, as a lot of people know. They are the twin sign, so they are known for like their duality, and they like to have more than one of like everything, and that comes to like jobs. They love having more than one job, keeps their mind going. They love having more than one hobby. They love having more than one lover. Like, they love having more than one of things, and that has to do with the fact that they are a twin sign. They're very restless. They need to always be kind of doing something, and they love change. I love people that love change, because I love change too, and they love change. It's exciting. It's a new adventure. Like, they love it, and they love to talk. They love to text. They love to write. They love to stay in communications with people. They don't like isolation too much. They love to feel connected to people, the outside world, in some way at all times. Like, your Gemini friend is probably the one that's texting you all the time. Your Gemini friend is probably the one that's posting on social media all the time if they're not doing something in their real life with people all the time. They love having friends over. They love being around people. They feed off of people's energy. They love to talk to people. They're known for their talking skills. So like, some say they have the gift of gab, but also because they feel like they know a lot, they've talked to a lot, they've experienced a lot, and all that things, they do kind of come off as arrogant sometimes. Because they are the twin sign, they also have a Jekyll and Hyde disposition. They could be one thing one minute and the next thing another minute. That's the thing with the Gemini, that probably also is the reason why a lot of people misunderstand them, is because they are very unpredictable. They're very, very unpredictable. They switch moods kind of quickly. So they're very unpredictable in that sense, but still, I love me some Geminis. Next up is Cancer, and they are a feminine water sign, and they are known as the sign of home life. Now, Cancers also have a very special place in my heart because Cancer rules my heart and my emotions. I am a Cancer moon. As we all know, Cancers are emotional. Cancers are very emotional people. And some say that's a bad thing, but I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing to be so in tune with your emotions and not be afraid of showing them. I think that that's beautiful, and I wish more people did it. They're also extremely receptive. They are receptive of people's energies. They're receptive of they're so receptive, and they are great listeners, like with a judge-free, open heart. They are also very, very, very sympathetic. So they sympathize with people. They are very sympathetic. They're very kind. They're very intuitive, not just of friends, but of strangers as well. They like to assess people and assess situations, but it's from like a loving, kind, caring place, not from a judgmental, discriminatory kind of place, you know. And Cancers are also very imaginative, and because they're so imaginative, they kind of get caught up in their own heads sometimes, which, if you think about it, that's probably why they're such good listeners, because when you are listening to someone, especially for a prolonged period of time, or listening to something, just anything to get you out of your own head, they like that. Cancers are the sign of home life. Home life is the most important thing to a Cancer. Having a harmonious, great, wonderful, loving home life is the key to a Cancer's heart. Whether you live alone, whether you're married, whether you have kids, whatever. Their home life needs to be their sanctuary. It needs to be their peaceful place. It needs to be the place that they feel happiest at. Cancers do not have a bunch of friends in a bunch of different places. A Cancer seeks to have close relationships to a few people. They can get really crabby and anxious when they're surrounded by people that they don't know, in situations that they're not familiar with. Cancers are also known to hide their feelings from the world. They are the crab sign, and crabs have a really, really hard exterior, but they're extremely soft and vulnerable on the inside, and that is a Cancer. They're not going to go up to you and be emotional with you or vulnerable with you if they do not know you. You have to really get to know a Cancer in order for them to open up to you. They only confide in people that they trust. But once a Cancer does confide in you, they are really notorious for complaining a lot. They complain a lot, and they tend to wallow. And when I say wallow, I mean really wallow in self-pity. They are also very insecure people. They always feel like they're not adequate enough. Cancers have this kind of thing where they feel like everyone else around them or everyone else has it figured out, and they're just trying to look like they know what they're doing, but they feel like everyone else knows what they're doing in life, and they're the ones that don't know what they're doing, but they still try to act like they know what they're doing, but they don't really know what they're doing. But little do they know, that's everybody. Everybody thinks that everybody has it all together, but they're the ones that don't have it together, but on the outside try to make it look like they have it together. That's everyone. So Cancers, if you're watching this, that's everyone. Don't feel like that all the time. They can become really cranky, and in general, they're pretty moody also. And they have an unpredictable temperament. So they can show their crabby side real quick, but they usually kind of reel it in, but sometimes it does jump. Cancers are also pretty possessive. They're very possessive of their lovers and of their friends, especially their lovers though. But they're extremely loyal. I mean, unyielding loyalty. Their loyalty cannot be matched. And a lot of times Cancers are love blind or victim to being love blind. Cancer is also a nurturer. They give unselfishly. They will give and give and give and give and give unselfishly. They do not expect anything in return. They don't. A lot of times, if they have like a family or responsibilities that they have to take care of, or people that they have to take care of, like kids or something like that, then they can fall victim to making sure that everyone else is happy before making sure that they are happy. Next up is Leo. Now, Leo is another masculine fire sign, but Leo is the sign of personal pleasure and creativity. So Leos are, of course, creative, very, very, very enthusiastic people. Sometimes too enthusiastic. They're like really like, some more than others, but you know, I don't know, I've never met a really chill Leo, but they're very powerful. They are the lion. They're very powerful people. They kind of like feel like, I demand attention, I command the room. Just in general, they're extravagant people. Like, they want the best of the best. They want to have as many friends as possible. They want to have as much money as possible. They want to have as many things as possible. They like kids as possible. A lot of Leos want a lot of kids. It's another little fact there. They just love extravagance. They love extravagant things. They love extravagant lifestyles, but they can also be very dogmatic and also very fixed in their own opinions. And that combination of being fixed in your opinion, being outspoken, and being powerful can give off this arrogant kind of like show off vibe that sometimes will rub people the wrong way. Leos love the spotlight. They love being the center of attention. If they don't love being the center of attention, they have no problem with it. And there's a ton of signs that would have a huge problem with being the center of attention. So they love it, and they will put on a show. They are really good entertainers. If they are not like, you know, entertainers in the sense of like, you know, singing, dancing, entertaining like that, they are entertainers just like in a group of people. They make wonderful hosts. Also a very fluent talker. They can kind of talk about anything, and they can jump from one subject to the next like with no issue. They can talk about anything to anyone. Like, they just love to talk. They're also very magnetic people. People are drawn to them because they do kind of command attention, and people that like that are really drawn to them. But also, they are also known to exaggerate a lot. They love extravagance. You know, they exaggerate a lot when they're like telling stories and stuff like that. There's truth in there, but they do tend to add on to make things seem grander than they actually are, but that's because that's how they see it in their mind. They see it as grand and great and wonderful. So when they tell stories about things, they try to make it seem that way, even though in reality it probably didn't go like that. So even though they are fixed in opinion and they're not very open-minded, they are open-hearted, and they are very generous and loyal, like I said. So they are a really good friend. So not only are they a great host, if you have a Leo friend, they're going to be the ones throwing the parties. They're going to be the one that's texting you like, hey, you want to go here? You want to do this? Oh, this is going on. Let's go here. Let's do this. They love being in different scenes and different people and different events and different things like that. So they're a really nice, fun friend to have, but they're also a very loyal friend. They love their friends, they cherish their friends, and they're very generous with their friends. So Leos are also very ambitious people. They have big dreams. They are going to work hard to make those big dreams happen, no doubt about it. They are hard workers. They're very ambitious, and they take action. Leos are also really good friends and really good partners, or just people to be in your life because they don't hold grudges. They forgive very easily, and they just kind of like move on to the next thing. Nothing is that serious to them. Like, they forgive and they move on. So if they mess up, they expect for you to just forgive them and move on, because it's not that deep to them. Leos are also surprisingly very sensitive people, but you would never know it. They don't show it often, but on the inside, Leos are very sensitive. The last sign that I want to talk about today is the 6th sign in the zodiac, and that is Virgo. So yeah, Virgo season just ended, so happy belated birthday to all the Virgos out there. I am actually a Virgo rising sign, so if you guys want me to do a video on rising signs, let me know. The Virgo is a feminine earth sign. They are known as the sign of work and self-improvement. Virgos come off as very reserved, very modest, very modest, and they are extremely practical, analytical. They seek to know and understand. They have a question for every answer. They are known for being perfectionists. A lot of people, when they think of Virgos, they think of perfectionists because they are perfectionists, and if you know how to manage it, that's great. But if you let it eat you up, where literally nothing you do or nothing someone else does is good enough, it can really wear you down and wear down the feelings of the people around you when you are constantly nitpicking and doing this and doing that. And Virgos go around and look at everything within themselves, within their lives. They look at things and they say, that's good, but how can it be better? A bad thing about Virgos is that they tend to be very discriminatory and very judgmental, because that's just in their nature. They do not like to take risks. unless they have studied this risk and say, okay, well, there's a 80% chance it can go my way, and that still may not be enough for a Virgo, but they do not like to take the risk unless they've analyzed it and figured, okay, this is actually a good risk to take. Very, very restless when it comes to self-improvement. They will stay up all hours of the night if they have to improve oneself. As soon as they feel like they've developed one part of themselves, they are on to the next part to see how they can make it better. They are truly, truly, truly the sign of self-improvement. They are extremely organized, really, really good planners. And another kind of cool thing about them is that they are also known to be really health conscious. So they care a lot about what they eat, what they put into their body. They care a lot about how they look, taking good care of themselves. A lot of them are into fitness, taking their vitamins, just making sure that they are good. You know, physical self is good because, again, that goes with self-improvement. Virgos are not a daydreamer. They are a day doer. They do not sit and daydream. That is a waste of time to them. They do. They are very, very intelligent people. They are always seeking to know more about something, so they know a lot about a lot, actually. A lot of weird topics that people wouldn't really know about, they know about because at some point they probably researched it just to find out more about it. They're known for having a great memory. When it comes to dealing with other people, not only are they reserved and modest and all of that, but they don't like small talk. They don't like small talk. But with all that being said, love brings out the best in Virgos. A Virgo in love is a Virgo at its best self, because Virgos have a lot of love to give. When a Virgo is in love, they are very, very, very kind to you, and if they criticize you or, you know, point out this and that, it's because it's coming from a place of love. It's because they love you and they really do want to make you better. But they are very devoted to the people that they love, and they're very, very loyal to the people that they love. But still, love alone does not make a Virgo happy. A Virgo has to be not only happy in love and happy in home life, but the career. A Virgo's career is extremely important to them. So they need to have all those three areas checked off. Home life checked off, career checked off, and love life checked off for them to be 100% happy and 100% good. So yes, that concludes this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is just the sun signs. There's so many other things in zodiac and astrology that I could touch on. Yeah, let me know if some of the things I said were spot on. And yeah, in the meantime, I encourage you guys to go look up your birth chart. Go look up your moon sign, go look up your rising sign. You can really learn a lot about yourself. Zodiac is amazing if you use it as a tool for bettering yourself and bettering your relationships with other people. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!